afternoon, everyone. It's been a great honor and privilege for me to be here for the seminar, and I'm grateful and thankful to my respected teacher and colleague, the present chair of the Department of Public Administration, Professor Dr. Nurul Momen. I'm honored to have my teacher and colleague, Professor Dr. Awal Hossain Molla, my colleague, Mr. Shakil Rahman, my beloved students, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you already know, that today I'm going to share my project journey with you. That means I have conducted a research project under social science faculty, and I'm here to share my project journey from the beginning to end, and particularly the findings that I have got from my research. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen that what I have done for around 2 years. It's about working women. It's a very interesting topic, and this topic is very close to my heart as I'm also a working woman. And I wanted to see the challenges that working women are facing for balancing between the work and family. So I'm focusing on work-life balance issue of working women in Bangladesh. Now, let's have a look. I'm going to tell you that what I'm going to research, why I'm going to research, why that means the rationale or significance of the research, that why is my research important. Then I will tell you how did I conduct the research, that means as Sir said, methodology of the study, and then I will go for the findings and the results. Now the core purpose of this study is to unpack the untold stories of working women in respect of their work-life balance, that how they are balancing, how they are juggling between work and family. Now what I'm going to find out, there are some key questions that I tried to find out, that means the answers that I was trying to find out. The first thing is, what are the work and family related factors that influence on work-life balance of working women? Number 2, how women's involvement in work outside home impact on caring, education and health care of children. You know, when women work outside, does it have any impact on children's health? Does it have any impact on children's education? And what are the impacts on their overall health care and overall well-being of children? Now, what are the father's role in the family? Very interestingly, I tried to find out what is father's role in the family in both ways, in terms of household work and also the rearing and caring of children. And number 4, do various factors like does marital status, structure of the family, that means if you are in a nuclear family or if you're in a joint family, is there any difference? And nature of work, that means when you're a university teacher and when you work in a bank, is there any difference between when you balance between your work and family? Now these are the key questions that I tried to find out and I tried to look into for my research. Now what is work-life balance? Work-life balance refers to the state of equilibrium. That means the balance between individuals' responsibilities at work. Now let me clarify you, work means job sector where women work, that means the paid labor. And what are the responsibilities outside work? That means unpaid labor, that means the responsibilities inside family. So it is basically balancing between work and family. Now, rationale, very important. That why is it important to conduct a research in this topic? Why am I researching this? Very important, the significance of this research. You know that there is no doubt about it. It's an established fact that if you want to develop a country, there is no other alternative but to involve women in the process of development. So you cannot really separate development and women. So you have to incorporate women in the mainstream of development. Now when you include women in mainstream of development, there is a key issue for every woman is facing is the challenges they are facing inside the family or the unpaid household labor. So it is very important to see how they are balancing between work and family. So if they can maintain good balance balance between work and family, they can definitely give a good effort in the job sector. So it is very, very important, and as I'm focusing on female university teachers, there is hardly any research has already been conducted on female teachers' work-life balance. So it is entirely new inclusion in the existing, in the scholarly, current scholarly work. And as I said, the women are disproportionately affected by work-life balance, and it is very important to explore, it is very important to unpack the untold stories, because these stories are always under the carpet, and I tried to bring it out. And the university teachers are, as I say, they're underrepresented in current body growth. So it has both theoretical and practical aspect, practical contribution. Now, how did I conduct? I already said what did I research, I said why, and now how. That means the methodology. As I said, it is an empirical research, so I use both primary and secondary data. And I'm going to tell you primary data, from where I have received the primary data. I have interviewed, but it's important to tell you that since I'm also a female university teacher, so just to avoid the biasness, I have appointed data collectors. And I trained them up, I sent them to the field, they collected data on behalf of me just to avoid the biasness. Because there might be some conflict of interest issue if I interview them directly. But I interviewed the male members of the family, also the elderly or members of the family, and also the domestic household, domestic helping hands. But for female teachers, I appointed data collectors. But I supervise, I train them up, and I send them to the field. Now, question is selection of the study areas. You know, I have selected two universities. One is the University of Ramshey and other is Pabna University of Science and Technology. Now, the question may arise why I have selected these two universities. As you know that I have been working here for more than 12 years, and before that I was a student of the same university, and I'm born and brought up here, so I have a good exposure in this university and good kind of network. And I'm a part-time faculty of Pabna University of Science and Technology, so I also have a good exposure in that university as well. So I wanted to start my research from here. Later I have a plan to explore outside northern Bangladesh. So this is the rationale of my selection of study area. Sample, I have around 50 samples, like 30 university teachers, 5 the family members, 5 husbands, just to cross-check and ensure the validity of the data, and also some household helping hands. Now, research method is entirely qualitative research, and I have conducted an in-depth interviews, a series of in-depth interviews with the respondents, and also observation method, I've applied observation method and some document review. Now let's come to a very important point, which is ethical consideration. It's very important, as you know, these are some of the stories that they share is very sensitive. And they did not, and I myself took the responsibility of ensuring the anonymity. Strong anonymity has to be ensured, as they don't want to disclose their name and so on and so forth. So I just strongly maintain the anonymity, confidentiality of the data, and I informed consent. I collected informed consent from each of the participants. And there was no pressure. I found 2 cases where they did not want to share their stories, so I just stopped. So it is completely a voluntary kind of participation. And then analysis, I did a thematic analysis for this research, so I categorized the total data into some themes and sub-themes, and it was a completely thematic type of analysis. Now, theoretical framework, very important, that where in the body of literature, in the body of current existing theories, where my research is standing. What is the theoretical ground of my research? Now, regarding work-life balance, when I explored current theories, I found that the theories can be divided into 2 broad ways. One is separation of work and life, and other is interdependence of work and life. Separation means there are 2 theories like border and boundary theory, segmentation integration theory. These theories believe, that these are two separate domains. That means work doesn't impact on family and family doesn't have an impact on work. Later it was criticized, and then there are some theories emerged like enrichment theory, spillover theory, and conflict theory, where they found that the two domains like work domain and family domain are completely interdependent and one affect other very directly. Now, I was very much influenced by spillover theory and work-family conflict theory. The basic understanding, basic core message of this theory is when you have positive spillover, that means if you are happy, if you are satisfied in your work life, it has a positive influence on your family life. And if you are not satisfied, if you have anxiety, and if you have tension in your work life, that has a certain impact on your family life. So there might be a positive spillover and negative spillover, and it is also vice versa. That means if you are happy with your family life, then it has a positive impact on your work life. You understand what I mean? So this is the spillover theory. Now, my contribution here is that this theory was looked at from a gender neutral perspective. But my contribution is I wanted to look this theory through a gender lens. That means I have added gender in whole debate and discussion of work-life balance. Now, the conceptual model that I have developed for this research is, now you have seen on the very right side there are some work-related factors, and the left side there are some family-related factors. And these factors influence on work-family conflict. That means if these factors are positive, you have less work-family conflict. And if these are negative, you have more work-family conflict. But this depends on individuals' characteristics and some of the resources. That means individual characteristics means skill is very different. Like my skill might be different from other skill. So skill, resource, and of course the helping hands. There are some personality traits. So these factors influences the total work and family related factors. And that will certainly have an impact on work-family conflict. So now let me share you the findings and analysis. Now these are the factors that I have received after taking series of interviews with female university teachers. They have identified some work-related factors and some family-related factors that are influencing their work-life balance, and they're continuously juggling between work and family. Now, number one, flexible work schedules. From a very straightforward perspective, you may think that the university teachers they don't have any fixed working hour, as you know. We don't need to come at 8 and go to 5. So there might be an idea that you may think that this is a flexibility nature of job might be very, very positive for university teachers, but I'm going to tell you a different story. Now, childcare availability, very important, because there is hardly any childcare available in Bangladesh. In Dhaka city, there are few childcare, but outside Dhaka, there is hardly any childcare available. In northern Bangladesh, there is no childcare either from the government side, from the private sector, from NGO, or from the university. Work environment, that means the environment that they are having inside their work. That means whether they have any separate office or separate toilet facility, whether they have any recreational corner, and what is the organizational structure. That means what are the relations they have with them. To what extent it is strong or weak, the relation will get here. Involvement in academic research, conference participation in abroad, and also what are the facilities they are having during pregnancy. Regarding family-related factor, household work and childcare responsibilities. To what extent and how they have involved in household work, and whether it is completely their responsibility. Spousal support. To what extent their spouses are helping in terms of household work and at the same time child care, rearing and caring of children. Support from other family members. This is very important, that whether there is any elderly member or whether there are any member in the family, that they are helping them. Support from household helping hands, whether there are any domestic helping hands in the family. Now, perception and flexibility of the job. I have received 60% of the female teachers say that they are not happy with the flexibility of the job. Interestingly, now the question is why. I have got series of qualitative evidences, but due to my time limitation, I have just picked one here. Now let's have a look. The flexible nature of my job has its own downsides. As my job is flexible, I am expected to be present both at the workplace and at home and fulfill responsibilities of both domains to the fullest. The scenario is different for those women who are employed in other sectors. They are not expected to leave their office and attend family responsibilities every now and then, like we do. That means, as our job nature is flexible, both domains, that means the work and family, both domains expect 100% from, so the expectation is very high from the university teachers as they have a flexible nature of job. You see that I have made a quote like T4, that means teacher number 4, just to ensure the anonymity of the researchers. Now, childcare availability. In both of the university, everyone said that they do not have any place where to keep their children. And 99% of female respondents of the study reported that the availability of childcare would improve their work-life balance. They are craving for a place where they could keep their child and come to the work. So you know, it's not possible that they take care of the children at the same time they have to attend in a meeting. So 99% of the female respondents demand that they need a child care and it would improve the work-life balance. And 86% of male respondents agreed. Now, let's have a qualitative evidence. My work-life balance has been significantly disrupted and stressed out by the lack of childcare options in my locality. I want to be there for my kids, but I also have to fulfill my academic responsibilities as a working mother. So you know, when you are a female teacher, you have no childcare availability, you have no place to put your children, but still you have to come to your work. How is it possible? You can bring your children, but where to put your children? Is there anything available at the university level or from the government or from the private sector? There is nothing. Now, work environment. Work environment includes whether they have any personal office or separate, whether they have any separate office or separate toilet facility. Very important. I know it's also important for the female students as well. Female teachers doesn't have any separate toilet facility. That means, and in both universities I asked, in Pabna University of Science and Technology, 5 teachers have no office at all. They do not have any office, let alone toilet facility. There is no one saying that they have a separate toilet. You know how difficult for a female teacher using a common toilet. Isn't it a difficult thing? And there are a series of qualitative evidences that I have received that says that. So I'm just going to read out one only due to my time limitation. The lack of privacy and sanitary conditions in the restroom that I shared with my male co-workers in our office have negatively impacted on my ability to combine my job and personal lives. They told me that sometimes they consume less water just to have a fear to use the same washroom. So you know that how it has a negative health impact. And sometimes they rush towards home. Some of them never want to use the common toilet. So it has some of the issues that needs to be raised. Now, recreational corner. This is very important. All of them say that after taking classes, after doing their work, they have no place where to sit, where they relax, where they can exchange their ideas. There is nothing. So they are always stressed out. They have no place to share their feelings. And that leads to less interaction with their co-workers. You know, there is a less teamwork, less interaction, and the ties between the co-workers getting less just because they are not having a place where to sit, where to relax. So they demand a recreational corner. And as you see, just to let me read it out, my productivity and focus are negatively impacted by the lack of recreational corners. Without a place to engage in physical activity and leisure, I find myself feeling more stressed and worn out. And this has forced me to take work at home. So since there is no place, they sometimes take work to their home that is adding extra burden on them. And it also paves the way for insufficient interactions with the co-worker. You see, there is no place that leads to insufficient interaction with the co-worker. And when you have less interaction, you would have less teamwork. You would not help each other as you have less interaction. Now, relation with peer involvement in academic research. You know, everyone, 30 female teachers agreed that involvement in academic research is very important. This is hugely important for their career development. But very few of them are involved in academic research. And they have mentioned different points. They have mentioned many reasons behind it. Number one is they have less teamwork. Number two, they do not want to adding extra burden on them because involvement in academic research certainly increase additional work burden. So they just try to avoid it because of the additional family responsibilities, because they are always stressed out for maintaining the family and work. Now, I asked them how many of them participated in international conferences in last 5 years. Only 2 from the Patna University of Science and Technology, and 2 of them participated in international conferences in last 5 years. In Rajshahi University, only 5 out of 15. And 10 of them from Rajshahi said no, and 13 from Patna University said no. They have not participated in any international conferences. They all believe that it is very important for career development. It's very important for being a good academic researcher. But due to their burden, due to their family responsibilities, due to their other, as I said, they are always stressed out. They cannot maintain a good balance. They always try to avoid it. So they could not participate. Now, what are the facilities they are having during pregnancy? Most of them said that parental leave policy is inadequate. That means they demand, it has to be from 6 months to 1 year. 6 months is not enough for when you give birth to a child. And they also demand husband's paid leave during that time. And also, they do not have any extra support from the work. At least it is a matter of practice, you know. So, I have series of qualitative evidences, but I did not put everything so that just because of the time limitation. Now, regarding family factors, rearing and caring of children, it is an interesting issue, right? That when you are home, is this a female's responsibility regardless of your teacher? Is this your responsibility of rearing and caring of children? But I've got an interesting finding. You know, whether they have a spousal support for doing the household work and rearing and caring of children, I have found that 30% say yes when it is about household work, and 60% say yes when it is about child rearing. So they are not having a spousal support when it is about the household management, that means household chores. But if it is about child caring, like the education of children, taking children to school, more spouses are involved in child care. So there are a lot of qualitative evidences that I have got. So there are some cultural issues they shared that sometimes when the husbands are in outside, that means they were sharing a story where they were in USA, their husbands were helping them out for doing the household work. But when the same person is coming to Bangladesh in a different culture, they stop helping them. So they have identified. I asked them, is this because of the household helping hand you don't have any household domestic helping hand in abroad, but you have a domestic helping hand here? They said no, it's not because of this. It's just because of the cultural issues. If you are a woman, it's your job to do the household, unpaid household work. It's not my work. And when it's about children, about the children's education and children's, when they say, most of them say that the fathers are mostly involved in children's education, taking children to school, these sort of things. Then I have just 2 slides more, just bear with me. Like, what is the support from the other family members? Yes, it's very important that whether you have any extra member in your family. 10 teachers say that they have an elderly support in the family, and 20 said that they do not have any extra member in the family. Now the question is it good if you have an elderly member in the family? They say, I've got mixed results. It's also added responsibility because they have to take care of those elderly members. You have to, again the female teacher's responsibility to take them to hospital, to take care of their medicine and so on and so forth. So it is again, they did not say that it is good or bad. This is what it is happening. So it has both positive and negative sides. Now support from household helping hands, very important. They're craving for a full-time household helping hand. But you see, only 5 of them have it. But all of them said that they need a full-time household helping hand. But only 5 of them have full-time. 25 of them said no, they do not have full-time. But all of them have a part-time. 25, like 83% said that they have a part-time household helping hand, and 5 of them said no. That means, but all of them said that they are looking for a full-time domestic helping hands. Now question is, why they are not getting it? You see, you can ask everyone that we are not getting any household helping hand. The reason behind this, it is an informal job sector, and they have no weekly leave, and they have underpaid, they have less paid in compared to other jobs. So these are forcing them to other jobs. So they're not interested to work inside home. Now the policy recommendations or the conclusions. So this is my last slide. Please bear with me. So the policy recommendations that I'm here on the basis of the findings, that it is a demand for female teachers that they should have a office room separate toilet facility, and this is very important in terms of their psychological and in terms of their health issues, and these are having this, and if these are available inside work, this should have a positive influence on work and life. Establishing a child care center is very important. Where should you put your children when you are at work? So women are continuously juggling between these two domains. So ensuring establishing a child care is very important. Reforming parental leave policy, as I said before, and formalize the job of domestic labor force. Their jobs must be formalized with clearly defined wage and benefits. I think that's all from today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your patience.